Does your Rainbow Six Siege rank even mean anything? In today's video I plan to delve deep into how the current ranking system in Siege works, the flaws with that system, and how it could be improved upon in Ranked 2.0 later this year. I first off just want to mention that this video was inspired by a video that Gregor made a few years ago, a link to which will be in the description of course. Since the release of that video 3 years ago however, some of the rank brackets have moved about, with the addition of some new ranks, as well as the removal of some old ones. Ubisoft have released some official information on how the rank system works, and some new games have released that arguably do ranked much better. Let's first take a look at how the ranked system actually works in Siege. Siege's elo works on a system called true skill, but unfortunately none of it actually points to your true skill whatsoever. The true skill system essentially assigns two values to a player, one being a hidden skill level, which in Siege specifically is directly tied to your current MMR, which causes a couple problems that we'll look at later, and the other being a hidden value, which is basically the system's confidence in where you currently stand. This uncertainty level, as we're going to call it, is at its highest point at the start of the season before you've played any games. Your MMR level is used in comparison to the enemy's MMR level, so that the AI can determine whether it's likely that you'll win or lose the match. If you have a higher MMR level, then the AI is going to assume that you're more likely to win the match than the enemy team is. The more surprised the system is by the result of the match, the bigger the change in the elo will be. The uncertainty level is another value that fluctuates the MMR that you gain. If the uncertainty level is quite high because the game hasn't tracked you enough in enough games yet, i.e. at the start of a season, then you will gain more MMR. This uncertainty value gets lower with each game as the AI learns what rank it thinks you should be at. That's why as you go through the season and play more ranked games, your MMR increase and decrease gets lower. And that is unfortunately everything that goes into making your elo in Rainbow Six Siege. That's where we begin to run into a problem that frustrates a lot of players. The elo is only based off of whether you win or lose, and how confident the AI is in the rank that you're currently at. There's no kills taken into account, no deaths, no plants, no defuses, no getting hard walls open, no droning, and certainly no callouts. Not to mention the countless other things that go into winning a Siege round. This is an oversimplified system for an overly complex game. The whole point of a ranking system is that people in the same rank should be roughly the same skill level. The difficulty with Siege is defining what a skill level is, because there's so many different things that go into making a good player. And so when you have a system that doesn't take any of those factors into account and only looks at whether you won the game or not, it's not so much a reflection of your personal skill and more a reflection of how many games you can win. Let's take a look at Valorant, a game that a lot of people would consider to have a more enviable ranking system than Siege does. In Valorant, the hidden matchmaking rating is separate to the actual RR of the player. In Siege, the hidden matchmaking is literally just your elo divided by 100. Ubisoft have said this themselves. The advantage to having a separate MMR to RR in Valorant means that if your MMR is higher than what your current rank is, you will gain more than you actually lose, because essentially the system thinks that you should be higher and so is going to get you there faster by giving you more. Same thing happens if your RR is higher than your current MMR. You will lose more and gain less. Since Siege's hidden MMR and your current elo are basically one and the same, Siege can't do this because it only has one value to work with. And that's just one thing that Valorant does better. Valorant's point system also takes into account things like kills, plants, and the score that the game reached. For example, you'd get a lot more RR in a win of Valorant if the game went 13-0, you got 30 kills, and you planted the spike 5 times, than you would if the game went 13-10, you got 10 kills, and didn't plant the spike at all. In Siege, there's no difference in elo gain if you go 10 kills or if you go 0, or if the game goes 5-4 or 4-0. That's not to say that the Valorant elo system is perfect though. It still has the same problem in that it doesn't take into account things like callouts, but then again there probably isn't a physical way on doing that. By now you're probably starting to see how flawed the Siege rank system is, and how ranks are really only a reflection on how many games you've won and lost. That's where the idea of Ranked 2.0 comes in. Ubisoft announced at the start of this year that by the end of this year they're going to have implemented a full rework to the rank system. All we really know so far about this system is that it's going to give you rewards for each rank that you go up, and every rank is going to be separated by 100 elo. Now that says to me that they're taking some pages out of Valorant's book, and it kind of implies that the MMR is going to be separated from the elo, which it currently isn't. We also know that the elo that you're going to start at is going to be different to how it is now. Right now, the elo that you start at is halfway between 2,500 and the last rank that you achieved in the season prior. That's apparently going to be changing with rank 2.0. Now I'm going to discuss a few things that I would like to see when they implement this rank system. The first of which is going to be personal statistics making a difference in the elo that you gain. If I win a game on 15 kills, having planted the bomb 5 times, then it would make sense that I would gain more elo for that game than a game when I went 0-9. I'd also like to see the elo that you gain and lose fluctuate based on the score that the match ends on. If I unfortunately lose a game on 4-5, for mine and my team's efforts during that game, it would make sense that we would lose less elo than we would if we just got 0-4 blasted up the ass. It'd also be nice to see the elo change based on whether you had a full team or not. Currently you have the opportunity to cancel a match if you start a game with 4 players, but after that, if your teammate leaves, then you're basically on your own. If you end up winning or losing that game, you gain and lose no more or no less elo than you would have if you had a full 5 stack. I don't mean to ride on Valorant's dick too much, but they handle this incredibly well with giving people an extra ult orb and extra money if they have a lost player. Currently Siege has nothing like that, and I don't expect it to, but I'd hope that I'd lose less elo if I was getting fucked by a teammate that left. One final thing I'll mention that I think is incredibly unlikely is the addition of a separate solo queue rank. I don't think that'll happen at all, but it would be really cool to have a separate rank for if you solo queued as opposed to when you 5 stacked, but that is really just wishful thinking. Let me know down in the comments what changes you would like to see come to the rank playlist with rank 2.0 later this year. If you did happen to enjoy this video, then a like and a subscribe, as always, is very much appreciated. But that's it from me for now. I'll catch you in the next one.